All right, welcome back to another episode of the Kitchen Table Podcast where business gets done. I'm your host, Ken Baden, and today we've got my homie from Texas, Jason, in the house. Jason, what's up, brother? How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. Finally, we make this happen.
I know, man. This has been like the fifth time we've tried to make this happen, I think,
It
right?
almost didn't happen today, but we made it happen.
Yes, it didn't. Most of the time, to be fair, I think he's had other scheduling conflicts.
That was on me every time. Yeah.
Was on me. So, and it's funny story is it was because I had a phlebotomy where I give blood every 3 months, right, just to make sure my stuff's good. And I could not give any blood, so I wasted the whole time. I did it. I'm completely dehydrated. Haven't eaten anything, so we're having a great time today. It's really, really sweet.
Solid day.
Sweet time, solid day. So we're rocking it today. But in all seriousness, man, I am glad to finally have you on. I'm trying to get Roger's butt back here. Look, he just scooted right out of here. I'm about to say, man, grab me a water, bro. I'm dehydrated. I just said I was dehydrated.
I need some water.
While I'm waiting on that. So what's up, brother? I see you guys. I know. So Jason and I first met at Blue Collar Ballers a year ago, and almost a year ago, about a year and a month, really, right? February of last year. Does that sound right? Was that last
Yeah, it does. So like 13 months ago.
Yeah, like 13 months ago, man. You were just getting rocking and rolling. I've seen you had a great year last year. Texas is an awesome market, man. I was this close to getting in with someone there in Texas because I really wanted to explore a store market, and I just wasn't ready to commit to, building what I've built here is very different than there, but I don't want to take my resources from here, there, or here, and here, there, and just commit to what it would take outside of having the right person there to build, right? Because it's either going to be me, one of my guys here, or somebody I can trust there. And I had a guy, but long story short, it didn't work out. We even drew up legal paperwork, everything, and like the day before we were supposed to execute it, he started talking about like, oh man, I met this guy, and it's all kinds of crazy stuff. So thank God, like that came out right away. Like we should do this with him, and he's gonna double our profits. And I'm like, oh hell no, brother, no, we're not.
Like, you still falling for all that crazy talk? Like, yeah, you're not.
No, exactly. I was like, and I know the guy he was talking about, guys in HVAC. I'm like, oh, dude, no way. No way. We're good. You know what? Why don't we just rethink this for a bit? I'm going to stay here, you stay there. So, but I've seen, man, you guys, what I can only imagine is success, because I've seen that being built in yourself in terms of, the things, the outside things, right? The watches, cars, and chains usually are a clear definition of, like, I would hope, because you don't seem like an idiot, you know what I mean? And I know you're looking for big things this year, so why don't you talk first about, if you would be so kind, kind of how you got into this, right? Most of our guests are either blue collar industry folks or folks that we can utilize. You know what I mean? Like, the purpose is I want people to listen to this podcast and get some value out of it. And while we have a heavy concentration of roofers, there's other entrepreneurs that listen to the show. And so having someone on that's like for health purposes, having someone on that's for growth purposes and mindset, all the things we've done, man. And you know the drill. So in this case, right in the backyard of what we do, Jason's, a fresh face and kicking ass, man. So what brought you to roofing? I know when I first met you, you guys were just getting going. How'd that happen? How'd that come to pass?
Yeah, man. So a phone call changed everything for me. I was actually in the middle of a season of life where I was trying to figure out what was next. I come from the network marketing space, and I was groomed by very, very successful people that have built multi 8-figure businesses within the network marketing space, which is one of the hardest businesses to build a business. Like, that is network marketing. It's all volunteer. You can't hire and fire, right? People either join your team or you can't let people go. It's a very interesting market. And at one point I had around 4,500 people in my group. And I built that, and there were just certain things that took place, and I wanted to go a different direction, but I didn't know what that direction was going to look like.
Is network marketing like Amway or something like that, or is that?
So that is one of the companies. The company's very weird about talking about them.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah. But it's something like that.
Correct. In the health and wellness space.
Okay.
I still have, like, I'd have to check, around 1,500 people on my downline. I still
Okay.
make a six-figure residual income with that company, which people don't realize, but I do. Before I get out of bed, those checks are hitting every month, which is a beautiful thing. But again, I was looking for something different, and it was between roofing, solar, and insurance. One of my best friends is a developer. He would always talk about getting into roofing, but I wasn't in the season of life where I was ready to accept something different. I was still involved in the network marketing company, and that was just my focus. And then, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do. My wife actually was on my ass about like, what are you going to do? Because at that point, I was making like 25 to 30K a month residually, and I was just kind of chilling, right?
Right.
As you know, I mean, and not just as a man, but definitely as a man, like the whole you're either growing or you're dying. Like we want to be creating something,
Yeah.
growing through something, wake up with purpose. Again, it's not just men. Women are like that too, but like, man, there's just something. We wake up with drive and like we got to do something. And so she was kind of like, "What are you gonna do? Like, you can't just keep sitting around doing nothing." And she was right. So I got a phone call December of 23, and my buddy's like, "Let's start a roofing company." Mind you, I had no construction experience, but what I did know is culture, leadership, recruiting, scaling, vision, getting people to work together, and the overall family aspect of a business. Which at the end of the day, that's roofing, that's a building a roofing company to a T. Now I just need to learn roofing and construction, which I'm still learning. Man, I got people that work for me that know more about that than I do.
Yeah, man.
You know, a coach is a coach, the quarterback's the quarterback, the receivers, we all play our roles. And so yeah, bro. So I went to Oklahoma and I trained with my partner at the time. People were laughing on one of the podcasts. I mean, I trained for like 2 days, and I needed to know, knock on the door. What do we say? Which I mean, I could probably fluff it, right? But what do you say? And knocking cold doors, how to run an appointment, how to do the inspection, file the claim, and then I'll learn from there, right? And so that's what I did. I just when he called me and I was like, dude, I've literally been thinking about this and roofing. I was leaning towards. So let's do it. I'm ready. He has his version. We're still very close friends to this day. I didn't see him for like 4.5 months. Try to renegotiate percentages, and he didn't want to do that. We mutually decided it was best going our separate ways. Again, we still talk almost every day. I got a hair transplant, and he went to where I went. I actually paid for it for him as a thank you. I sent them Bitcoin when he was on his way because I wanted to do something special for him because this industry has completely changed my life. And so in June, at the end of June of 24, I started Summit. But that was my introduction into the business, into the industry. And I'll tell you, like, whenever I would have builds going up, man, I would be on site, up on the roof with the crew leader, having them explain different things, different parts of the roofing system, and just learning as much as I can, being a sponge. And I'm still that way, man. I still study and just working on getting better. But I've been able to expand so fast because of the social media presence and the brand and trust that I've built within myself over the years. Like exactly what you see on social media is exactly what you get in person. There's no fluff. I don't sugarcoat stuff. I don't bullshit with people. Like that's it, man. And I've seen that that's actually not very common in the space. And I mean, people are doing people wrong all the time and not paying their guy. I'm just like, I just don't get it. Like I've even had people leave and I still pay them their final commissions. Like I'm not gonna hold money from somebody. I don't know. But look, people like the way that I run business. There's not one rep that I owe money to. Nobody's owed money in my company. Everybody's paid out. I pay right away. And yeah, man, I've learned a lot of lessons. I had one guy backdoor about 500,000 from me. I believed in people, all the fluff they tell you, and you get hyped up and excited, like, yeah, I got this rock star on my team, and I'm sending them all these appointments, putting them in hotels, and then I'm like, screwed out of another 5 figures, and but I move a lot different than when I used to. I've learned a lot. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for people like you that are, showing also what's possible and just being the example of what you can do in this industry.
Yeah, there's all that stuff, man, and yeah, a lot of that stuff just has to be experienced because I've done the same thing. I mean, I'm still at this point. I'm just like, dude, I don't even try to call it because I'll see a group of guys come in and you'll think this guy here who's talking to he's done it and honestly, man, and the experience that we've had, especially over here, it's just like we'd just rather have green guys we can mold and cultivate because
I almost want like a solar guy or a pest
Yeah.
control guy or a gym salesman.
Gym salesmen are great, man.
They're
Yeah.
great. You got the hustle. You look professional. You're groomed well. You're clean cut.
Especially if they're from LA Fitness, dude. I don't know what they do over there, but that's where Kurt and Nihal are
I
at.
know,
What do they
bro.
do
And
really? Like, they're
yeah.
different.
I actually went there and asked, and I was like, yo, what are you guys doing, man? And you know what's so funny is the guy I spoke to was interested, but he was like the guy before me who just left to go start a roofing company. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so he was like, he's been trying to get me. I'm like, what is it about you guys? I got to figure out what your training
Something in the
is.
water over there.
It's something, man. I mean, kudos to LA Fitness, dude. I don't know, but
A good training program. I don't know.
echoed something that you said in terms of like, look, dude, I don't. It didn't say he didn't know anything about roofing. Let's be real, but what he did say was like, that's not what I make my business, and that my business is people. You know what I mean?
It is
like,
people.
and I really was impressed with that because he was like, you probably know way more than I do about roofing, and he was probably right because I've been selling it for years. But there's always somebody who knows. The Chucks and the trucks and the guys are like, I could put this roof. That's great, man. That's great.
That's great. I'm not claiming to do that.
Right. Can you build or scale a company? Can you? And I actually just answered a question relative to that just a few minutes ago in an interview I was in, and I'm like, those guys are awesome, and that's great. But what happens when that guy who's working in his business can no longer do that, and he can't hire people, and he can't grow, and now he's not around. So now he's not able to service your warranty or any of these things because he was completely reliant on himself because he didn't do anything with business. So like. You get into business, you have accountability to other people, and to your point, man, I've experienced all the crap in the industry. In fact, why I get into business for myself is because I was just over being lied to, man. I just couldn't, you know what? If I've got to worry about if you're going to pay me or not, I'm going to bet on myself. I'd rather at least jump out there and try and do this on my own. And I'd rather put it on me than you because I don't know you and I don't trust you, and you've only shown me you're going to screw me. So I know if I get paid, I'm going to pay myself, right? Like, so that's actually how I got into it. But you've moved quick. You've got a lot of recruits, a lot of things. I don't know exactly what, but I mean, your first year must have been done very well because I see how you guys are doing.
Our first full year, we did 5.1 million in sales.
Yeah, that's a fucking great year, dude. That's a great first year, man.
And I'm hard on myself. I'm like, we should have done 8 figures. It's bullshit.
Yeah, but you know what, man? You know what? I'm going to tell you something. You you understand how many people would have just sat here and told me they did 20 million? And that's the problem. Because they didn't. You didn't do no 20 million your first year. Dude, stop it. Just stop it. Why do you do that? I don't.
I'm going to tell you. And I can show you.
Right, like I don't get it. Like, why are you saying that? Like the logistics. I had this kid. I swear to God, I had this kid, sweetheart, worked for me, and Dimitri made them. And I've told Dimitri this, by the way, made the mistake of doing an expose. Kid says, I did 17 million in his first year. And look, Dimitri has no. This was years ago. I think he's done a lot more due diligence since then. 17 million in your first year. And mind you, we're not in a storm market. Now, that is not, it's not impossible if you have a ton of guys in a market where you get a world-changing hailstorm. But I watched Brandon J, 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 10. And then the year he's like, okay, look, I'm going to scale to 20 this year.
What is the 5 to 7, 5 to 7?
5 to 7 million, 5 to 7 million, 5 to 7 million, 5 to 7 million, 10. Right, and then, okay, we're going to scale to 20 this year, and then they get a massive storm in 35, 65, 80, and it's just like, I've seen what's capable I've made it my business because I want to learn from everybody that's doing whatever. If you're doing something, man, I want to learn it, right? Like, this guy's kicking butt, Tony Flatham in Minnesota. I watched him go from, I believe it was 25 to 65, right? And that was when they had a world beating. One gentleman did 18 million. One.
Is that you talking about Dan?
Yeah. One guy did 18 million. Now, he did, and I know they installed 14 of it, but I'm running my mouth a whole lot because my point is I'm very impressed. That is if you're listening to this, that is not, I would say the average is about $1 million. You got a great year if you do 2.5. You did 2.5 in your first year, man. That's good. You did good. What's your net margins, right? You do 5 something. Our first year we did, and now granted, our first year it was me and 2 other young men, and we didn't really get started until about June because I had 2 companies at the time, and that was right in the dissolution of my partnership. First full year we did 6, 7, but one of my guys did half of that. You know what I mean? Like he was an absolute world beater. Guy passed away, man. He was one of us, and decided he would poke his you already know what I'm going to say. So he tried one more time, and it didn't work out. So
That's how I lost my little brother.
Your brother?
My little brother. Yeah, he was 28.
All it takes is one more time, man. But my point is, these are great numbers, man. There's nothing. But what I found was, and to your point, man, I was always holding myself to like, oh man, I'm not going to brag about this because like I'm hearing this kid over here is talking about doing 20, 30, and then the more you do due diligence, the more you dig into PE, the more you speak to the powers that be, the more you understand that that's bullshit. Yeah. It's bullshit. You didn't do that. And so this kid he changed his story to, well, that was my goal. And then it was 12, and then it was like 5.
My goal is $250 million, bro.
Right, exactly. So amazing. Okay, all right. Well, that's what we're talking. So anyways, man, kudos to you for being real. I'll give you that right off the bat, man. I really think that not enough people I don't understand it. I post about it all the time, but why people just do that is beyond me. You're not serving yourself. You don't get to spend that money. So it's just ego. I don't get it. Like,
right.
People will put that together around you and you'll look foolish, you know?
I'm straight up, man. Like, that's what I said from the very beginning. I'm like it is, whether I like it or not. It's actually good for me to speak it because it fires me up more to do better.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Like, hey, that's great. Now what are we doing this year? What are we doing this year? And I'm in the same boat, man, because I can't spend that.
That's right. We at least, my goal was like 20 to 30 million this year, but it's like, man, we got to do it like at least double.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, man. That's exactly how I operate. Our goal is 30. Now, we did 10.4, that's a big jump we got to go do. But that was all almost in insurance. Retail was a fraction of that because it was just getting going the back half of the year. Now, the company I mentioned before was all retail, but that was my old partner and I. So now we're combining, so we should have no issue, but there's a lot of shoulds in there, right? So, hey, we got to go meet halfway with retail, so we want to be 50-50 with the 2, just because we know here PE values that higher, right? So as long as even if we're a little shy and we got a big chunk retail, though I'm talking like 3 points in multiple, right? Like we're not in Texas, man. So they're like, oh, yeah. Retail, yeah, let's get that, right?
And we're also, we're licensed in Oklahoma, licensed in Arkansas, right? We're working on Tennessee, but you can do 25K and under in Tennessee. So that's kind of what we focus on right now. And then I'm about to be, by the end of the month, I should be licensed in Florida and Arizona.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I did the same thing, but I didn't go anywhere that required me to take a test.
So I'm having people add me as a qualifying party. In Florida now, you can add 2 companies as a qualifying party onto a license, and they get their own separate license number.
Oh, wow. You're probably just paying like, hey, look, man, let me pay.
Correct. Per job. Yep.
Yep, makes sense. I might do that in Minnesota. I got a couple parties that I might team up with, but that's all. I don't know if we'll need to. If the value's there, maybe. But I would really like to be in an actual star market, man. Just to.
Oklahoma's great. You don't have to. So Oklahoma, you don't have to take a test. Oklahoma, you just apply for it.
Yeah, well, Texas. I'm in Texas as a registered business, but
dude, Texas is just a freaking
wild west, dude.
The wild west, yeah. It's the wild west out here. A storm hits the next morning. There's 20 companies in the neighborhood. It's like shit. Yeah.
That's why I think it's impressive that you're able to. A lot of people are, oh man, there's like 8,000 companies in the DFW per.
Correct, and just DFW, bro. And like, yeah, I mean.
So how do you, as a guy coming from nowhere, go up against that? Because you're in the DFW, right?
Yeah.
How do you make a name for yourself and get going? How do you take that? If you're a listener, jumping into that, no relative experience, other than I would say that what you did definitely helps. Don't get me wrong, because I have a young man that my last consulting client, he had a lot of success in the company I mentioned, right? So like very personable, all the same stuff. So no wonder why I think that 100% plays because this business is people. And
I've done door-to-door too. From 21 to 23, I sold Verizon Fios and AT&T Ubers. I've sold energy door-to-door. I've sold alarms door-to-door.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not new to the door-to-door space. And I mean, bro, I'm speaking on stages all over the world. You know.
Yeah, he was doing the same thing but I think that equals probably the perfect prototype to do this.
Yeah, and so it's just like getting people to know, like, and trust you over the other people. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people like I knows from, or I'll think about it, or well, this person can do this for me, or this person's gonna.
This is segueing into answering the question about how you get going in a market that saturated.
Yeah, you just work. And you just become the best version of yourself, and you make that's what most people miss is they don't work hard enough. And there are certain areas you're unfortunately going to have to work a little bit harder to get things going. And the DFW area is one of those areas. I mean, bro, and people are like, did you had to have bought a company? Like, no, I didn't buy a company. I started it. I followed the LLC. I started it. It was just me. Bro, I had a Tesla, not a Tesla truck, a Tesla like X, I think I have. Yeah, I had the Tesla X out there just knocking doors, running appointments, asking for referrals. And I didn't start really posting on social media until about 6 months after because I didn't want my network marketing people to see that I was doing something else and then them go do something. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to lose that. And then one day I was like, okay, well, this is what my checks are at now. That's almost like one job or two jobs, maybe. What am I losing by not posting? So I was like, F it, man. I'm putting it out there. So then I posted it, and then I had like one guy that brought me four guys, and then things just started to grow. And just like network marketing, the people that get you to a certain point are not going to be the people that get you to that next point. So you have to continuously be funneling. And man, I am a freaking nutcase. And by that, I mean, like, I wake up with so much passion to build the business and to get new people in because I know that I'm going to pay people on time, that I'm going to treat people right with respect, and that people are going to know that they're valued and recognizing people. Like, I love doing that. And that all comes from the network marketing space, right? You got to make people feel good and like they're a part of something. Enrolled in your vision. Where are we going as a company? What's my future here at this company? Is there one? Do I have the ability to level up? Is there ability for ownership? What am I looking at with you? And it's just being about transparent so people know where they're at. And that's about building the company. Now, for a sales rep and you're in DFW, like, bro, you got to be knocking dark to dark almost. Right. Obviously, we're gonna wait a little bit. And you want the sun to come out and not piss people off, but I mean, you got to be not even like, oh, I got my 100 doors today, and I tell my guys this too. Not I got my 150 doors today, because if nobody's home, you can do that in 2 hours. But that's not going to lead you to make any money. So how many people did you talk to? How many houses did you inspect? And what did that convert to at the kitchen table? Because that's what really matters. Sales and profits at the end of the day are what matter.
100%. Yeah.
So like you got to go work, from nine to 8. If you really, and then I tell people, look, go boss the wall for a year. Going to meet a lot of people. You're going to take care of a lot of people, and you'll get a ton of referrals. And you're good. The must of knocking will lessen. Now you can still go do it, of course, but you'll develop such a business of people that you'll start getting tons of referrals. And yeah, I mean, tell people it's not the knocking like nonstop, day after day after day, hour after hour. It's not forever, but you got to do the shitty to get the pretty, and that's it.
Yeah, that's actually 100% true. One of my guys in Delaware, we snagged him from Snake Farm, and right before he was getting ready to go into not ownership, ownership, but you know what I'm talking, agency. And 4 months he did it, and then after 4 months, I'd say, and up until now, he is 100% referrals. And guys will see that, and they'll try and replicate that without.
So, well, he doesn't knock any doors. Right. Like, well, you don't see what
he did, and now he's able not to do that. Like, you still have to do that, right? So, you can't, you're missing the part where he went through the shitty, as you said. You only see the pretty.
That's right.
He went through
You
the
don't.
blood to
And
get
then people want to compare like their day one to that person's day 365. You can't do that.
Nope.
It's like you come to the person that's super successful and say, what did you do when you first got started? Because that's what matters. And that is what will be equivalent to where you're at.
Somebody's listening to this right now and they're considering any of these things, but especially roofing, man. They want to get going. What would you recommend the first thing they do?
Find a company that you trust and that you want to be a part of, that you like the way they run business. I would check track record. I mean, leadership. Well, a company, it's all about the leadership, and that's from the top down, right? So see if you can meet the owner. See if you can, have a sit down conversation with them and ask them questions. Interview them. Like, what are your core values? What are your principles? What do you stand by? I mean, because that stuff is important. If you don't align, it's not gonna work out. So, and there's a lot of companies out there. So find a company that, like, if somebody hits me up and they're actually happy where they're at, like, why are you hitting me up? Just
Right.
because I might pay a little bit more? Well, then if you meet somebody else who pays a little bit more, you're gonna leave here and go there.
Smart, man.
Right. And so it's just knowing questions to ask, man, and how to move and how to maneuver. But
Right.
yeah, I mean,
I had the same thing. Guy hit me and said, well, money talks, man. I'm like, yeah, dude, this isn't going to be the right
so
fit.
check this out. My Dallas district manager, he's been in roofing for coming up on 10 years in the DFW market. He left a company, he took a pay cut, he turned in a company truck and the gas card. And he came to me because of the conversation that we had and where we're going. I enrolled him in the vision. Last month, he made $37,000. He's made more money with me than any company. He doesn't deal with nonsense. Huh?
This is your dad?
No.
Oh, I thought you said my dad. This is just a guy. Okay.
No, it was a guy that hit me up from social media. We ended up meeting. I liked
said
what
my dad. I was like, okay, cool.
No, but he's man, he's an absolute animal. And we've had some freaking, like this, but we're still respectful and we do that and we focus on a solution.
Yeah.
It was, man, we've kind of gone at it a couple of times. And at the end, it's like, love you, bro. And most people cannot attach, I should say, detach emotion.
Yeah.
Business has no room for emotion, but it's not only about the money. Like, where do you feel that you can grow the most and you have the best intuition on? Like, what does that look like? Because when he saw what we were doing, and this is also about branding and putting yourself out there on social media, you can only fake so much, right? And yeah, man, he's been with me for a bit, but he's got a company truck. He's, got the car. I mean, he's rocking and rolling. He's kicking ass. And again, he's made more money. And this was in slow season. He made 37 last month. That was in February. We hadn't even had new storms, really.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That's the best type of story.
And also the training. What does the training look like? Because I've had people come to my company where they were in roofing for 2-3 months. They're outdoor knocking almost every day. They have 0 deals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what did it look like over there? Okay, well, I'm not going to bash them because I don't sit here and bash other companies. I think you look low when you do that. I'm like, well, here's what you get over here, right? We're going to do this with you. Then we're going to do that. Then we're going to do this. And then we'll see how we'll see what you're made of. And I mean, he signed like 6 deals his first month. He got his first hat trick last week.
You have him come in and learn some of the pieces from it first? I don't want to.
Yeah, so we do like a classroom style training, but we don't get like too intricate. It's not overwhelming and over the top detail because you can get really detailed.
Yeah, our first 2 weeks are fully focused on 2 weeks of classroom and only about the process of which things to transpire up to the claim being filed.
I'd be curious how do you lead, and that might be a separate conversation.
Yeah, we'll have to have we'll have you out, or I'll come down there. I'll be down there. I'm in Vegas Monday. I'm going on a podcast. I'm doing a lot more. Not a lot more. I'm doing consulting stuff, but most of that is I did that 2 years ago, and then I just stopped because of the baller stuff. I got kind of jaded from some of that stuff. I just was like, but you know what? I put so much time, effort, and energy into it, and I was like, forget this. Like, similar to what you have in the back end on that, I'm like, why would I not make money when I can for my family with this thing that I put so much.
For sure.
So if it's the weekend or whatever, I could pick up a client here or a client there, especially when it's a business and they want to learn retail. It's like, we'll do it full on for them in 3 months.
Well, and helping people feels good too, man. You're giving
100%.
back and you're spitting game for people and you're helping people like myself that are coming up and we're good people and we really want to make something happen in this industry and be a voice and a catalyst for good people in the industry
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
changing the perspective of like a used car salesman kind of thing.
Oh my
You know, a lot
God.
of people like oh, another roofer, right? But it's like, I'm not here to take your money. I'm here to provide you an incredible value. Yes, there's a cost, but the value far outweighs the cost.
Oh man, 100%, man. I just I got a little annoyed. Well, the main thing was last year I wanted to make sure we were 100% locked in. Like I didn't want any disruptions whatsoever. I do the podcast, but I looked at my years and the years that I did what I felt like I was called to, and even when I was the busiest, our business did fantastic. I was here, I was there, and it's like, you know what, man? Everybody, not everything is for everyone. If you go to this coach, that coach, this coach, you'll get 5 different answers. Find somebody you can trust to lock in on, and just like, okay,
Like the NFL, you got to be
yeah,
with the right team. You got to be with the right like this. Who
100%.
was it? Was it Burrow? He was with one team and they don't make the playoffs, and then the year he wins the Super Bowl with a different
Yeah.
team.
The guy from this past year. Yeah,
Yeah, and
exactly.
then what about the no, I'm thinking of the guy from the Lions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sam Bradford. Bradford. Sam Bradford goes to LA and wins the Super Bowl with LA. We never won in
That him too, but yes, you get my point.
The guy from Seattle, same thing, but 100%, man. I mean, essentially now it's just like, look, what, I have an opportunity for me, that's where the frivolous expenses come from. Is like, okay, well, I'll take on a couple other clients, and I'll do that, and I just stack it all in here. Because for me, I want 100%. We're pushing for, the investment opportunity on the back end, and all of our people know that, right? So like everyone that comes in here is brought into the vision. To your point, like, okay, look. Here's what we're doing. Here's why we're doing it. Here's what won't happen. Here's what will happen. Everyone we meet with that might even potentially be an investor is like, look, we would never, ever, ever discuss anything that would have anything to do with any of our people not being here pushing this forward in perpetuity. Because
How many people do you have?
30, no, probably closer to 40 now because we're getting close to have to offer insurance, which is at 55. So we'll probably be there by the end of the month, but that's because of canvassers and mostly canvassers. You know what I mean? Canvassers and salespeople are going to make up a lot of that because they're W-2.
And how many states?
Two offices, brick and mortar, 3 states operable, and what's that?
I said 3 states selling in.
Yeah, we PA we're kind of dipping our toe in though. It's mainly the 2. The output from last year was all 2 states. The 3rd state is new, and Northern Virginia.
Last year was how much?
10.4 if you count our.
Yeah, but if you do 8 figures, you're in like the top 1% of roofing companies.
Yeah. I know. Trust me, I'm not poo-pooing that. I'm just.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Our goal is an EBITDA. Our goal, I'll tell you, our goal is flat out like at that 4 million EBITDA mark. We know that makes sense to find an investor, but really 6 is the multiple we're looking for. So, you figure 30, that's 5 at a net 20, but we're confident we can drum up a little bit closer to 26. The 2 highest exits I've seen in terms of the people that I personally know, one of whom is Lennington, Kurt. They're very transparent about their everything, right? Including their net.
You know Shy?
20, 26 at that size is where they're operating in terms of a net profit and EBITDA. And then, of course, they get these guys going in there and dig in, and they'll find a bunch of stuff that they determine as an add back. And so you might think you're at 5, but you're at 6, right? And so that's the hope. But even if we do 4, we'll be sound because our intention is not to retire on the initial investment. That's just getting your chips.
Oh, you keep pumping it. That's right.
And so I just talked to one the other day, man, that could be a really good fit. They only own 2 companies right now. So for me, I'm like, look, I know a lot of people. I could be a resource for you. But the biggest thing they said was that as a private equity firm, they've made the most non-ownership millionaires out of any other company. And that I can sell.
Yeah, that's great.
Someone like me or you can take that to my people and say, look, dude, I've been talking about this for how long? Let's get and go. Let's make this happen at the end of the year and think about this time next year where it's like, okay, we go hit X, we get Y. And that means a $500,000 bonus to you, and you. Who wants it? You know what I mean? And that's what Brandon got to do, a couple.
Brandon's a beast.
Yeah, he's just a fucking machine.
Do you know Shy?
No, I don't think so.
Eubanks, he sold for 161.
Yeah, it's
Out of
is that
Nashville. He had
initially or his second one?
He's a personal friend of mine. No, he was in Nashville. He had 450 sales reps across most of
Oh, yeah, that's pretty fucking good. Yeah, I won't have that. But I mean, I'm not saying I couldn't get there, but I also want to do it up. You know what I mean? I already lost 4 years with that last company I was talking about. That frustrates me, but at the same token, it was a good learning experience. But I can't
As
help
long as you get a good lesson and you don't repeat the mistakes, the trajectory will be.
partnerships, man. Partnerships are not, I always kind of caution everybody, like, at least the situation with you guys saw that. You guys were friends. You guys are like, you know what? We didn't do that. And
I won't do it again. I've been asked to merge 9 times. And I've had private equity contact me already. But they thought I had been in business for like 7 years. I was in business for 1 year at that point.
Yeah, well, you'll start getting emails and texts and all kinds of other stuff, man. They'll be like spam artists here in a second. I'm telling you. They will. Trust me. So, but whatever, man, that's cool, I mean, that's the deal, right? So for me, I set that up for like an opportunity for my folks. Like, hey, man, look, this is you guys, right? I want to go. I've been doing this for 20 years, brother. I'm ready to go plop on the board, and you guys take this further, bro, and run it. I'll take a smaller piece.
Yeah.
I'll take a small piece of a bigger pie. You guys go do it, brother. I'm with it. And look, I'm already setting up what I like doing, and I'll keep doing that. And I'll have something even more to talk about and more value to bring when I've done that, right? And so I can get you to that point where I'm at now, and I love talking sales and sales systems. Retail for me is so fun, and that's great with insurance guys right now that aren't where you're at in Texas, that are in Minnesota and they just don't have storms right now. Like, what are we going to do? I'm like, hey. I can teach you retail, brother.
Yeah, the reason I was asking about that, because I got some team in Arkansas, but they're like in the Little Rock area, and they don't really get hit much, although they got a storm not too long ago. But usually it's like northwest Arkansas, which is 2 to 2.5 hours away. And that's just a lot of driving every day.
Boys, I'll have them selling $1,000 a square on one sit, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, that's a combo right there.
I mean, I'm telling you,
I think I remember you were talking at the Blue Collar Bar.
I was trying to talk about retail because nobody else was talking about it, man. I was just like, all right, well.
Well, because most people are storm in Texas.
Yeah, I get it.
But it's like, hey, somebody like me who's in market, and also Arizona, they don't get a lot of
like, what if, God forbid, just what if?
What if insurance just went away?
Right, like, what are we going to do, right? Like, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take our guys. We're going to teach them how to sell in a one-call close format, which isn't just because it's sexy. It's what drives that dollar amount up.
I'd be willing. Let's have a conversation about that.
Yeah, man. I'd love to work with you.
But did you overcome a alcohol addiction or drug addiction? I think I remembered you said.
Don't church it up, dude. I overcame a drug addiction, but both alcohol and drug addiction. 100%, man. Yeah, 100%. Talk about it all.
Well, I had a massive heart attack and died.
Yeah, I saw your stuff. We talked about it, but it's all good. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that shit was wild, man.
And that's why
I still have a couple of drinks here and there, but I'll be 5 years clean from any drug.
Yeah, I remember yours with the heart attack and everything. I remember, for myself, I don't know how I didn't have anything. Well, mostly opiates, but also alcohol, period, for 2 years. So for me, I leave it all alone, man. I can't, and even if I could at this point, it's not worth the risk of finding out, you know what I mean? Because if I'm wrong, I'm losing everything.
I'm just intense. Like, I was so intense with that life, the party life. Like, I was so disciplined in it that I died.
We don't do anything half-assed, guys like you and I. Right. Doesn't matter what it is, good or bad.
If I apply that discipline to the other side, what would that look like? And when I talked about being a maniac, that's what I talk about. Like, I'm just just an all-in kind of dude. Like, I just go, damn. I mean,
doesn't matter if it's recreational. There's no such thing as recreational. Doesn't matter if it's alcohol, drug abuse. Doesn't matter what it is. We're going ham, dude. And I can relate to that. But I'm right there with you, man.
I just know there's a lot of people in this space that have overcome that.
Yes.
And are maybe still kind of dabble a little bit and hold some shame and guilt within themselves, because I've been there. But it's just one of those things. It's one day at a time, and idle time is the devil time. So stay busy with your time.
And most of them, actually, I would say, have been in that position. And so I don't get why people mock that, because I'm like, you should probably not be in the industry then if that's something that you're like offended by. Cause
for sure.
I mean, and look, and there's a lot of guys kicking butt. There's a correlation, man. I've hired so many salespeople, brother. We'll have to talk offline, but I think by nature of who we are that are drawn to sales and succeed at it, we're high energy. DISC translates high D, high I, which is high influence, personality, high D, drive. You put those two things together, those types of people are either borderline or they are addicts, man, or they have some other kind of trauma. But we talked about a 30-minute episode. We're 45 minutes deep. So
that's what I'm saying. We start getting going.
It's all good, bro. I'm loving it. But my video production guy over here is like, dude, I have to go. So
we can do a round 2 sometime. But yeah, let's definitely talk about some retail stuff.
Yeah, man. I would love to, man. I actually just wrapped up my last. I've been having guys come out and just crashing with them because. Straight up, man, a lot of people have not been as fortunate, and I wanted to cut something where it was a more cost-effective option for guys that just couldn't do the whole work with the business, and get some really good guys to come out and just help them anyhow, man. And so, regardless, not that you need that, I'm just saying.
No, it's great.
A lot of guys are in positions where, so if you're listening to this, man, and you're beating yourself up over that, you're not alone. You are not alone.
Man, we've all been there. In some form or fashion, we've pretty much all been there. It's
100%. And your best way out is through, baby. So
that's right.
Jason, we'll talk offline, man. But if anyone,
thank you for having me on again. Appreciate you.
Not a problem, brother. Where can they find you so they see you, your company, and everything about you?
Yeah, so Summit Solutions Roofing is my company page. Jason Nemes on Facebook. And then, you're confusing me, bro. And then Tatted Prez is my IG and my TikTok. Tatted, like I'm tatted up. And then PREZZZ, Tatted Prez.
PREZZ, got it. Tatted Prez. Tatted Prez, and then Jason Nemes.
Tatted Prez and Jason Nemes. Yes,
got it. Awesome. We'll put that in here as well. Jason, love you, brother. Great having you.
Love you too, bro. Appreciate you.
Man, wish you all the success, man. Crush it this year, and we'll have a round 2, man. In fact, we'll have to check in on you. Usually quarter 3, 4 is where we make all our big money, so I'll bring you back in around then, see where you're at, and we'll go from there, my man.
I'm hungry, bro. I'm so hungry.
I know you are, dude. We're gonna get it, man. Trust me.
We gonna eat this here, baby.
That's right. There we go. All right, guys. Check you on the next one.